Today we are going to be talking about some of the things that realtors do that drive me insane. It just drives me crazy that people are still doing this in this day and age. The first thing that drives me nuts when realtors do it. Number one, buying a listing. What does that mean? So when I'm going on a listing appointment, I am meeting with my seller. I'm telling them the assignment as I see it, and I'm going to look at the comps and we're going to review everything, and I'm going to give them an honest opinion of what I think their property would sell for in today's marketplace. There are other more unscrupulous realtors who will try to entice the seller into listing with them because what they will say the property is worth is much more than any realtor would say the property is worth. And that's what we call buying a listing. I actually have a real life example that really happened, and I can go into Barry's and look at it from time to time to remind me about it. I actually went on a real appointment with one of my colleagues here at the office, and we had a real appointment with a real seller. And we told the seller, after looking at all the comps, I think the best that we can do for you is probably about $2.5 million for this piece of property. And they said, thank you very much. I'm gonna go interview somebody else. And then the person that came in next said, hey, you know what? I think your property is worth $4.5 million. Guess who got that listing? That agent who thought that property was worth $4.5 million. And what has happened for the last 2.5 years? Do you know? It has sat on the market and nothing has happened. And I've been watching the price go down and down and down over time. They're down to 2.9 million right now. That is what we call buying a listing. So am I upset that I missed that opportunity? No, I'm not really upset that I missed that opportunity because I don't want to be tethered to an unrealistic seller for 2.5 years, banging my head against the wall with an assignment that I know is never going to come to fruition. And so for that reason, I am the honest realtor. I will come and I will tell you what I really think your property is worth. And you can decide to list with me or you can go somewhere else. Pet peeve number 2, we call it white knighting. What is white knighting? Well, in some of my other videos, I talk about how our job as a realtor is really being that coach or the Sherpa, and we don't get down and dirty and play on the field of play. We are helping our clients to be the players on the field and make decisions. White knighting is what happens when a realtor decides they're going to make decisions for their client because they know better than their client. Those conversations go something like, well, we're in the middle of a counteroffer, and then I'm on the phone with an agent and they say something like, oh, my client will never go for that. And I say, well, how do you know? You haven't even asked them yet. But we call that white knighting in the real estate business. Please don't do it. Make sure that your principals are in the driver's seat. Our job as realtors is not to make decisions for them so that they can make the right choice for them. And so what we try to do is give them a little bit of a preview of what lies in wait for them around the corner so that they can make an informed decision. But at the end of the day, all of the decisions are those for the principals to make, not the realtors. So get off of your high horse and stop white knighting for your clients. Let them be the decision makers in the process. Another pet peeve of mine, lazy marketing. It is like nails on a chalkboard. It makes my blood boil when I go into the MLS and I see cell phone pictures of listings that are badly lit and badly framed, and there was no attention taken to cleaning up that property or staging or decluttering or anything of the sort. Lazy marketing is what I call that, and that is real estate malpractice. At the very least, your realtor should be able to coach you into cleaning up some rooms and getting a professional photographer in there to make sure that it shows in the best light possible, to make sure that you get as many buyers looking at it as possible and you get the best price possible. Don't be a lazy marketer. Get a professional photographer. Do this job right. I don't want to see those cell phone pictures out there, people. Number 4, what is the 4th thing that drives me crazy about realtors? Being cavalier about contingency removal. Oh my goodness, have I seen some weird stuff out there in the marketplace with agents being very cavalier with their clients' money. I make a huge deal about contingency removals. Contingency removal is arguably more important than getting your offer accepted because it's the point of no return. Once you start removing these contingencies, your deposit is getting more and more in jeopardy until there's no chance of you getting it back. And I have heard agents out there in the field say things like, oh, don't worry, I know we're making a non-contingent offer, but as long as you don't put your deposit in, what is their recourse? They can't do anything to hurt you. It's the worst thing that you could possibly do in real estate is make a non-contingent offer without a deposit, because then you can be argued to have negotiated in bad faith because you had no intention of ever putting that deposit in. That could be seen by a court of law as being in bad faith. And the scariest story that I've heard about this is a real one where a buyer did that. They made a non-contingent offer. They never put in their deposit. Their realtor told them, don't worry, what's this seller gonna do to you? Well, this seller was in the middle of a 1031 exchange, and they actually had real damages because they weren't able to close their exchange because this buyer backed out, and they were able to sue this buyer for real damages. And at that point, liquidated damages goes out the window because you've negotiated in bad faith. And so that buyer was on the hook to pay almost $500,000 to that seller, and they didn't even get a property out of it. Don't be that person. We're going to be very careful with your deposit money. We are not going to let that fall in the hands of the seller. I have never lost a buyer's deposit ever in my career, and I do not intend to start with you. you. Your investigation contingency does not cover you just changing your mind flippantly. That is not a covered contingency. Again, in real life, in real practice, I've seen agents put in writing an email to the other side, oh, my client just changed their mind. It's okay, we're in our physical investigation contingency. Wrong. If you haven't done any investigation and you don't have a real reason that has caused you to change your mind, then it could be argued you're negotiating in bad faith again. Please be careful with those contingencies. They are real, and you have to have real contingencies and exercise them in the proper way in order to keep your deposits safe. Do not be cavalier with your buyer's deposits. It is heartbreaking when I see people lose $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Those are some of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to realtors in the marketplace. What are yours? Hit me up, drop them in the DM. Let me know what boils your blood when it comes to the real estate industry and what I can focus my next video on. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.